All right, let's talk about something that every single project manager has to wrestle with: enterprise environmental factors. Now, I know that sounds a bit stuffy, but stick with me. The best way to think about them is like your project's personal weather forecast. You can't control it, you can't stop the rain, but you can and absolutely must remember to bring an umbrella.
So picture this, you're trying to plan the most epic summer music festival right in the middle of the beautiful Kent countryside. You've booked the bands, you've got the food trucks lined up, everything is perfect. And then, of course, the heavens open. That feeling of fighting against forces that are completely outside of your control, that is exactly what we're digging into today.
So here it is, the official definition. Enterprise environmental factors, or EEFs, are basically the climate that your project has to survive in. They're the given conditions. And you know what? You can't change them. You can't negotiate with them. You can't just wish them away. The whole game for a smart project manager is learning how to work with them, not against them. You've got to dress for the weather you have, not the weather you wish you had.
Okay, so let's start with the big stuff, the things happening way outside our festival gates. We're talking about external factors. These are the massive forces from the wider world that can totally knock your project off course. And the tricky part, you have absolutely zero control over them. First on the list is good old-fashioned red tape: rules, laws, and regulations. I like to call this one the council says no, because it's that mountain of paperwork that can shut you down before you've even sold a single ticket.
I mean, just think about it. You can't just plonk a massive stage down at a field because you feel like it. You need planning permission. Your headliner can't be blasting music until 2 in the morning if the council has noise restrictions after 10 p.m. And selling tickets online, you better be sure you're following all the data protection laws. Oh, and every single burger van has to meet health and safety standards. These aren't suggestions, you know. They're hard rules that shape your entire plan from day one.
Next up, let's talk about market conditions. You can think of this as the economic mood music playing in the background of your festival. It might seem far away, but believe me, it can have a huge, direct impact on your budget and your schedule.
Let's make it real. What happens if the price of steel suddenly goes through the roof? Well, your stage just got a whole lot more expensive. Or what if there's a nationwide shortage of top-notch sound engineers? Suddenly you're paying a premium to get the best people, if you can even find them. And then, of course, there's the ultimate example we all now know too well. A global pandemic can literally change everything in the blink of an eye. These are all market conditions you just have to react to.
And that brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to the most literal environmental factor of them all, especially for our festival, the actual weather. One solid week of that classic British summer rain can turn your beautiful green field into an absolute mud pit. It's the perfect, unforgettable example of an external factor you have to plan for, but can never, ever control.
Okay, so we've dealt with the great outdoors. Let's head backstage, because it turns out some of the biggest, trickiest environmental factors don't come from the outside world at all. Nope, they come from right inside your own organization. Every single company has a personality, a way of getting things done. Let's just call it the vibe. Is your festival being put on by a small, scrappy startup that makes decisions in a heartbeat? Or is it a giant, rigid corporation where everything moves at a glacial pace? The answer to that question completely changes how you manage your project.
Seriously, think about it. In a really bureaucratic place, getting approval for a new spotlight might take 3 weeks and 10 different signatures. But in a more entrepreneurial culture, your boss might just say, "Go for it. Let's see what happens." And how do people sort out disagreements? Is it a formal committee meeting or a quick chat by the coffee machine? This vibe, it dictates everything. Your project's pace, its appetite for risk, and how people communicate.
Okay, next up, internal resources. Now this is different from the general job market. This is about the specific people, tools, and systems you have access to right now inside your company. And this, my friends, dictates what is realistically possible.
And it can get really specific. Maybe your company has one absolute genius of a data scientist who can predict ticket sales. But guess what? She's already working on 2 other huge projects. That's a constraint. Or maybe the company's financial software is so old, it should be in a museum. Or maybe the internal HR process to hire a new lighting tech takes a painful 6 months. You can't change these things for your one project. You just have to plan your way around them.
So, we've looked at the forces battering our festival from the outside, and we've peeked at all the drama happening backstage. Now, let's put them side by side. It's time to really nail down the difference between these 2 types of project headaches.
Or let's put it another way, what is the real difference between a sudden torrential downpour
and a difficult lead singer from another department who's being really difficult about sharing resources. They both feel like massive problems you can't control, right? But where they come from is completely different. Let's break it down.
This table just lays it out perfectly. It all comes down to the origin. External factors, like a new noise law from the council, come from outside. Internal factors, like a painfully slow expense approval process, come from within the company itself. And what about your level of control? Well, for external stuff, it's pretty much zero. For internal stuff, it's very, very little. You're not going to change the whole company's HR policy for your one project. The examples just make it crystal clear. A new law is external, the company's slow processes are internal.
Right, we get the theory. But what does all of this actually mean for you, the project manager? It's your turn now. Time to step up and figure out what you actually do with all this information.
Let's be 100% clear on this. Your job as a project manager is not to change these factors. You can't stop the rain. You can't single-handedly fix a bureaucratic culture overnight. Your job is to identify them, assess them, and then plan for them. You have to learn to play the game on the field you're given.
And here are the 3 crucial steps. Step 1, identify. You scan the horizon for actual rain clouds, and you listen to the backstage gossip to see which departments are feuding. Step 2, assess. What's the real damage a downpour could do to ticket sales? How much of a delay will that slow approval process actually cause? And step 3, plan accordingly. Order 10,000 ponchos just in case, build an extra 3 weeks of buffer time into your schedule for approvals, and start taking those difficult stakeholders out for coffee right now.
And this quote really says it all, doesn't it? The difference between a pretty good project manager and a truly great one is being proactive. It's about looking ahead, seeing these environmental factors coming, whether they are storm clouds or internal politics, and having a solid plan in your back pocket before they even hit.
So, to wrap things up, I'm going to leave you with a question. Think about a project you're working on right now. What's the weather you've been trying to ignore? Is it a new regulation coming down the pike? A really difficult company culture? Or that one key person who is completely and utterly overbooked? Just acknowledging it exists is the first, most important step to managing it. Thanks for tuning in.